Chicago Cubs. News today.
Do you think the 2026 season went down the drain just because our bullpen turned into an open-air emergency room? If you folded your arms and accepted defeat right now, you are completely ignoring how the baseball market works in the final stretch of July. The 8th and 9th innings are not the apocalypse. They are just the stage where the front office proves if they have the coldness and the guts needed to go get the right arm on the West Coast to close the door on big games. Pay very close attention to what is happening on the other side of the map, because most of the fan base is blind, crying over our own injuries, and forgets to look at other people's desperation. San Diego imploded their entire long-term planning, burned through their farm system boys, and built an astronomical payroll just to, in the end, suffer a pathetic record of 46 wins and 48 losses. Do you understand what that means? Their backs are against the wall, desperately needing to rebuild the minor league system that was devastated last year. And guess who has one of the most loaded and ready-to-harvest crop of prospects in the entire league? Exactly, our North Side franchise. The X-ray of the Chicago team at this point in the championship reveals a brutal imbalance that borders on the tragic. The franchise possesses a starting rotation that delivers impressive sweat and stability, added to an offense capable of punishing elite pitchers in the early innings. However, the final third of the games has turned into a maddening game of Russian roulette. Daniel Palencia, who was supposed to be the anchor, is sidelined on the 15-day injured list due to a severe right flexor strain. Phil Maton lost control of the strike zone and ended up in the medical bay in a melancholy way. Hunter Harvey sank into the 60-day inactive list without any optimistic prospect of return, while Shelby Miller has already had his season officially ended. The baseball operations brass tried to stop the bleeding in a palliative way by activating names like Jacob Webb, Ryan Rollison, and Trent Thornton. The cold statistics, however, show that these quick replacement pieces cannot withstand the pressure cooker of the final innings in tight divisional matchups, making it clear that a real impact pitcher is missing. I get absolutely unhinged watching our starting pitchers leave their souls on the field for 6 or 7 innings, only to see the relief guys hand over the gold on a silver platter right after. It is a psychological torture that no fan deserves to go through 20 times a month. But when I see the possibility of knocking on the door of the San Diego general manager and snatching Mason Miller out of there, my blood boils with hope again. It is exactly this kind of aggressive move that I have been demanding from this front office for a long time. You know, in the bleachers we take the rain, we freeze, we swallow our frustration, but sometimes I feel that when you hand over your trust to the right pitcher on the mound, God acts and the game shifts in our favor. If you also have this unshakable faith that a heavyweight trade can save our year toward the playoffs, do not waste time. Smash that like button right now, subscribe to the channel here, and come suffer and celebrate with me, because I will not stop yelling at the front office until this becomes a reality. The tactical projection with the eventual arrival of the most feared and dominant pitcher in the current sport immediately alters the balance of power across the entire National League. It is not just about securing 3 safe outs under the spotlight. It is about a domino effect that relieves all the physical wear and tear on the roster. The closer's contract guarantees club control until the end of the year 2029, providing a long-term stability that Chicago has not experienced in the 9th inning for almost a decade. Opponents would need to change their entire offensive strategy, knowing that trailing on the scoreboard after the 8th inning means the lights go out and the game is over. The starting pitchers gain the freedom to attack the strike zone without the terror of needing to stretch their counts past 100 pitches, saving their ligaments and shoulders. The other bullpen members, who are currently overworked playing outside their ideal roles, could return to middle relief roles, drastically reducing the incidence of muscle injuries from excessive accumulated fatigue, replacing daily panic with the certainty of victory. But right now, I need you to answer me honestly, looking at our farm system. Would you have the stomach to pack up and ship two of our biggest minor league gems to California, just to guarantee that the ninth inning stops being a guaranteed heart attack? Do you agree to sacrifice the unknown potential of our tomorrow for the aggressive and immediate chance to chase the championship ring in October? The architecture of this negotiation, discussed behind the scenes, makes total financial and sporting sense for both sides. Chicago would send James Triantos and Luis Martinez Gomez. Triantos, chosen in the second round of the 2021 draft, is only 23 years old. His offensive performance is frighteningly consistent. He boasts a 282 batting average, combined with a 341 on-base percentage, having already punished opposing pitchers with 3 monumental home runs and nearly hitting for the cycle in the same game playing at the AAA level for Iowa. His main virtue, however, is his formidable defensive versatility, being able to patrol second base, third base, and the outfield with mastery, adding an aggressive speed that has already resulted in over 30 stolen bases. As a counterpart on the mound, Martinez Gomez emerges as the ideal explosive complement. The California-born right-hander, molded in Texas college baseball, nailed an absurd 1.46 ERA, acting as a pure reliever at the high A South Bend level. That was 68 strikeouts distributed over 55 1/3 innings of lethal dominance. His heavy fastball and his sweeper with violent lateral movement are exactly what San Diego begs for to rebuild their bullpen. The recent history of the great modern baseball dynasties teaches in a harsh way that franchises that want the title buy elite closers at the trade deadline. The clearest parallel occurred in the magical 2016 season when the team went after a brutal left-handed closer, paid a massive price in prospects, and broke a historic 108-year drought without rings. Currently, Mason Miller's contract trajectory mirrors the exact same market valuation that Josh Hader had in his prime, making him the most valuable and coveted currency today. Trading promising boys for concrete guarantees is the ultimate rule in the fight for October. Talented kids in the minor leagues are like expensive lottery tickets. They can crumble against big league hitters, suffer shoulder injuries, or fail to withstand the crushing pressure of a packed stadium. On the other hand, a human monster who handed out only 12 walks all year, with a 0.96 ERA and 23 saves in 23 attempts, is not a gamble. It is a consolidated fact. The clock is ticking fast until August 3rd and rivals are not sleeping. I look exhaustively at all these numbers, and my final verdict is direct as a punch to the gut. Our front office needs to swallow their conservative pride, pick up the phone right now, and close this monster deal before the sun sets on the Windy City. Of course it hurts to see Triantos leave. The kid hits the ball too well. But you want to know the naked truth? I do not care at all about optimistic projections for the 2028 season if we have an offense ready to crush opposing pitchers this very afternoon. Our window to compete is completely smashed open right now. We have plenty of depth in the field positions to absorb any roster departure blow. What we do not have in the shadows of our locker room is an arm with the cold blood needed to get the last 3 outs without giving me a stomachache. Bringing in Mason Miller pulls our roster out of the gutter on tough nights and turns us into an absolute giant overnight. And look, as a fanatic supporter, I do my part pushing the team non-stop. Because when you hand over your unconditional support from the bleachers, God acts and the universe conspires in favor of our shield. So go down there in the comments section and tell me the truth. Is there any kid in our talent pool that you would not trade even under torture? Drop your heaviest like to show the brutal strength of our community, and let's make noise until this negotiation is finalized on paper. The heavy ball of big decisions is sitting right on top of our front office's desk, and the trade deadline has no mercy for those who hesitate. If this negotiation sinks out of fear, do you really think you can handle watching this patched-up bullpen of ours playing under the suffocating pressure of the playoffs? Think hard about what is at stake. I will see you in the next video. Big hug.